It's Cassam from HeyUGuys.
Oh, hello, how are you doing?
I'm very nice.
Tweeted.
We have tweeted a few times, yes. I was congratulating you on the film. Now, tell me, what is it about this genre that brought you to make this film?
Well, I just love romantic comedies, and I think they get a really bad rep generally. And I think, just like any genre in film, there are good ones and there are bad ones. And I wanted to hopefully write a good one. I think that people need a bit of romance and comedy in their life these days. So hopefully, I think that's what you get from Man Up. So yeah, and I love it as a genre. Who doesn't want to laugh and also cry?
Yeah. And now, what are some of your favourites then in that genre?
Well, obviously, I'm a big fan of all the classics like When Harry Met Sally and Annie Hall, but I also love Moonstruck. Big fan of Moonstruck. And I love Silver Linings Playbook more recently and Crazy Stupid Love as well. So, yeah, I like basically most rom-coms, even the bad ones.
Well, no British ones in that list. Now, do you think we've been lacking in that department?
I think that there's been a kind of sort of lull, I suppose, since Bridget Jones came along, and I adore Bridget Jones, but I think probably there's been a slight lull. So hopefully now we can sort of show that there is an audience for people who want to see this. And yeah, there hasn't been a great one for a while, so I'm going to say that ours is a great one.
Excellent. I'm going to agree with that.
That's my confidence there.
Now, what is it that Simon brings to the film as well, and Lake as well? They have a great partnership.
Yes. Well, Simon, standing behind me now, talking, what he does is not only does he bring all the comedy, but he also, I think, in this brings a lot of vulnerability, which was very important to kind of the role of Jack, that he was someone that everyone could relate to. Because the film is not really just about relationships, it's about people and how everyone interacts. And Simon and Lake also had brilliant I think Lake sometimes called it sort of comedy tennis. They could really ping pong, well, I'm going to use two racquetball analogies there, but they could really ping pong off each other. That in itself was a brilliant starting point, because it meant that we had two actors that were able to sort of just throw themselves into ad-libbing and doing their little weird physical tics and everything, which was great.
It's set over the course of 24 hours as well. Now, what was the thinking behind that?
It's actually technically 36.
Oh, okay.
It's a night and a day and a night. I like writing contained pieces. I find it really easier to write things like that. And I also just I'm a big fan of films that have a contained time sort of space anyway. And I wanted to have that sort of slight mania of something like After Hours. I love the way I'm comparing it to a Scorsese movie, but something like the mania of that, I think brings a bit more life to it in terms of spreading something over a longer period of time. Also, for her to maintain her identity for longer than 24 hours would have got quite boring, I think. So yeah.
Excellent. And finally, you treat London as a character as well in this film, which I thought was fantastic. Does London make for a great character on film?
Well, I'm born and bred Londoner. I love London, and I really wanted to show a sweaty, drunken, messy London rather than a kind of chocolate box sort of style, which all of the team and the crew who made it totally created. And it was very important to all of us that when we said, oh, this is the South Bank, someone didn't go, well, let's shoot it somewhere like the South Bank. We actually did it on the South Bank, which was a nightmare, but it obviously looks amazing and fantastic. And yeah, I mean, London's such a great city, and who doesn't want to see that kind of drunken Soho life on screen? So yeah, that's a really big favourite part of the film for me.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and I really did enjoy it. Thank you. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey